A thread by Carlos Osuida. Kurt Schlichter says, I want to win, not just the election, though we must win that. I want to win the whole cultural war and burn Marxism to the ground. And doing that means cold, calculated ruthlessness, not mindless reaction to jerks trying to get our eyes off the prize. Get woke. And Luke C. Skywalker responds, I don't think we get another chance. We're 2 generations into postmodernism now. Either we stop it here in 2020, or it might be the whole ball game. We don't have the luxury of petty infighting. Not today. And Carlos writes a thread for Luke C. Skywalker. We're closer to losing everything than we've ever been. It all depends on the upcoming election. We won't lose, but let me explain. The Supreme Court ruled that an illegal order, DACA, must be rescinded using the Administrative Procedure Act, APA, which requires the government to give reasons for getting rid of the regulation. DACA itself was implemented without following the Administrative Procedure Act, and by requiring Trump to follow the APA when rescinding illegal orders, the Supreme Court can reject the reasons in perpetuity. For example, the leftist majority can forever claim that the hardship imposed on DACA recipients will always outweigh issues of legality. Therefore, the ruling makes the president into an absolute dictator. One Supreme Court ruling was all it took. Obama ruled by fiat. Juliet Akinyi gathered all of Obama's dictatorial actions in one place. The Supreme Court eventually got around to ruling that Obama's illegal appointments to the Labor Relations Board were null and void, but all of their regulations were preserved because they have to be rescinded through the Administrative Procedures Act. This is what Obama said about DACA. In the absence of any immigration action from Congress to fix our broken immigration system, and DACA. And this is what he said when a reporter asked him how he could do this. I didn't ask for an argument. It's the right thing to do. After more bloviating, he walked away. Every single Democratic presidential nominee promised to govern by fiat, even moderates like Gabbard, Yang, and Buttigieg. I'm a lapsed Catholic, so I can say this about John Roberts. He's a Catholic social justice warrior. The religion is infected with this rot. As a child, I was forced to listen to hippies serenade us with protest songs during Mass. In Sunday school, I had to listen to chain-smoking nuns in short skirts use profanity, call us man, and tell us we needed to be Marxists. Here's what will happen if Biden is elected. He'll give 1 million illegal orders that can't be rescinded, and he'll illegally appoint heads of agencies who implement illegal regulations that can't be rescinded. The conservative justices' dissenting opinions on the DACA ruling spoke the truth. The Supreme Court is no longer lawful. It's a partisan arm of the Democrats. Trump will win, and so will the GOP. Only 17 House seats need to be flipped, and they're targeting 54. But the only way to stop this for good is a permanent 6-3 conservative majority on the Supreme Court. That will nullify Roberts. He rewrote the legal definition of the individual mandate in order to rule Obamacare constitutional. But we can thank George W. Bush for all of this. The saving grace is the madness of crowds. Now, Black Lives Matter will start attacking churches. Sean King tweets, yes, I think the statues of the white European they claim is Jesus should also come down. They are a form of white supremacy, always have been. In the Bible, when the family of Jesus wanted to hide and blend in, guess where they went? Egypt, not Denmark. Tear them down. And Yes, all murals and stained glass windows of white Jesus and his European mother and their white friends should also come down. They are a gross form of white supremacy, created as tools of oppression, racist propaganda. They should all come down. It's never too late for conservatives to go crazy and blow this, as Kurt Schlichter said, but Donald Trump has invoked the Stafford Act months ago. It allows the regular armed forces to engage in law enforcement. Special operations units. What the hell happened in Minneapolis? One night, the governor said the city was overrun with professional urban terrorists and Mexican cartel terrorists. They were setting fires in seconds, shooting at firefighters, throwing explosives at them. The governor said there wasn't enough law enforcement in the whole state to stop them. Did you read the police announcement the next day? They found all the cars that the urban terrorists had been using, and in every case, the terrorists had fled on foot and gotten away. You believe that? I don't. They found all the cars, you bet. The terrorists were hit by the Delta Force. Do you care what happened to them? I don't. What kinds of weapons were the terrorists using? Tools of havoc, said the cops. Quite poetic and quite evasive. Try thermite grenades and suppressed rifles. But the city was blanketed with military drones and nano-drones. Piece of cake for our troops. You know what every top-tier operator wants? A fight on American soil. For us, not in some sandbox overseas. One of the reasons James Mattis had to be fired is that he refused to accept the new military paradigm. Did you see this? AirForceTimes.com. This Air Force pilot is the first woman to fly the F-35 in combat. Air Force Captain Emily Bonsai Thompson had never conducted a combat sortie before deploying to Al Dhafra Air Force Base in the United Arab Emirates. Now, she is the first woman ever to fly the F-35A Lightning II in combat. It's unclear where or when the combat sortie took place, but airmen and F-35s from the 388th and 419th Fighter Wings at Hill Air Force Base deployed to Al Dhafra on May 20th. The 388th Fighter Wing did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Air Force Times. Where did Bonsai Thompson fly a combat sortie? The UAE is nowhere near Syria or Iraq. She carried out an airstrike, and the only people who know are Bonsai Thompson and her commander. Mattis wanted to know tactical operations so he could leak them. The reason that the Trump administration is airtight in terms of real leaks is that our tactical units have tons more autonomy than before. They now have standing orders. Guess the date of the first American hostile action in World War II. April 10th, 1941, 8 months before Pearl Harbor. The U.S. Navy destroyer Niblack attacked the German submarine U-52 with depth charges near Iceland. Niblack was picking up survivors from a Dutch freighter when it detected U-52. Standing orders. Then, on September 14th, 1941, USCGC Northland destroyed a German weather station in northeast Greenland. We'd made an agreement with Denmark to prevent the Germans from using Greenland for their war effort. Standing orders. Trump gives the military his overall strategy, and the local commanders implement it. This is how the Iraqis defeated the Islamic State. Based on training and advice from the Saudis, the Iraqis created combined arms micro-teams. Each team consisted of one tank, one bulldozer, one rotary or fixed-wing gunship, one squad of motorized infantry, one sniper squad, and one anti-tank squad. The teams were virtually autonomous. Every soldier had a number and was represented as a dot on digital maps. Freelance machine gun, mortar, and self-propelled artillery pieces roamed the battlefield waiting to be called in. The micro teams could all see each other and determined for themselves how to take the objective. Lieutenants and captains commanded the micro teams. A major oversaw several teams. Several majors reported to a colonel. Each colonel briefed a general. Generals asked questions. They didn't micromanage. It worked like a charm. That's the model we've adopted. Mattis wanted a centralized armed forces, so he had to go. Trump kept telling him, "What do I know about tactics? Let the experts do their job." Hence, leak-proof. That's why we have no idea who the Delta Force recently rescued or where. Trump signs cross-border authority and then waits to find out what happened. But we finally arrived at the crossroads. If we elect Biden, we lose everything. Obama was the beta test for dictatorship. The test was successful. Any Democrat from now on will govern by fiat. And as long as the Supreme Court is 5-4 leftist, we can't do anything about it. But Trump and the GOP will win. And he'll get at least one more Supreme Court justice. But don't kid yourself. We're one election away from an absolute dictatorship. Everything they told you about this was wrong. Guns don't matter. The military won't save us because they don't see the threat. The dictatorship is social. It's a dictatorship of policy. If Biden abolishes the Electoral College by fiat, it will stand. John Roberts will make sure of that. It's for the best, as Kathy Bates said before smashing James Caan's ankles with a sledgehammer in misery. Trump tweeted that the DACA ruling gives the president more power than anybody ever imagined, so he's quite aware of how important it is for him to win. This is the final throes of leftist totalitarianism in the U.S. The mob mayhem ruined all chances of the Democrats winning. So know the stakes, but be very happy that Trump is on the case. All is well. Stay strong.